or around that time period, that's when the Lord gave Eldariah the revelation of who all the tribes were and had him break it down. Why? Because the Most High was closing up the breaches among all the tribes. So is that more?
A little more. Right, and it says, the 14th verse, for he is our peace, who hath made both one, and hath broken down the middle wall of partition between us, meaning between Israel and the Most High, right, to bring us together back to him through Yahushua being the mediator, having abolished in his flesh the enmity or the hatred. All right, and us being enemies to the Lord, even the law of the commandments, which because of the law, that's what us breaking it made us enemies to the Lord, contained in ordinances, for to make in himself of twain one new man, so making peace, bringing all Israel together in that one banner underneath Yahushua, and that he might reconcile both unto the Most High in one body by the cross, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom both together in Yahushua, having slain the enmity thereby, meaning the curse of that law, man, that was keeping us away from the love of Yahweh, you know? And it says, and came and preached peace to you which were afar off, and to them that were nigh. For through him we both have access by one Spirit unto the Father. Now therefore ye are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens with the saints and of the household of the Most High, which that household is the household of King David. All right, coming back again, the house of David. All right. And it says, and are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Yahushua himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto an holy temple in the Lord, in whom ye also are builded together for an habitation of the Most High, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua through the Spirit.
All right, so let's read on, brother.
Many customs of the Mexicans strongly savoring at Judaism, besides that of circumcision, having already been noticed, such as their wearing fringes fastened to their garments, practicing frequent ablutions, attending constantly public places of worship, to which they were summoned by the blowing of horns, Numbers 10, 1-3, and Psalms, all right, 81 and 3-5. 81, 3-5. And Numbers 10, 1-3.
Yep, I got it. Read that real quick. Yep. All right, Numbers chapter 10, verse 1. It says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly and for the journeying of the camps. Yep. And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacles of the congregation.
Yep. Psalms 83.
81 and 3.
Psalms chapter 81, verse 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast days, for this was a statute for Israel, and a law of the Most High of the power of Jacob.
Hey, why were them so-called Indians keeping that law if it was given to Israel?
You're right. And how come the Zidonians, when they came over here, all right, when they were looking for merchandise for King Solomon, how come they didn't do it while they were over here? Yep. You see? They didn't. It says, or Moab, or anybody else for that matter that came over here. How come they didn't do those customs? They just came here, did what they had to do and went, you know? It says, this he ordained in Joseph for a testimony, when he went out through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not.
Right, so go back, brother.
Right. It says, attending constantly public places of worship, to which they were summoned by the blowing of horns, as the Jews are to the synagogues, anointing themselves with oils, Exodus 29 and 7.
You got that, Exodus 29 and 7? Read that real quick.
All right.
And this basically, these are just a lot of similarities of things that the so-called Indians were keeping with what's written in the scriptures to prove that they are Israelites. They wasn't just keeping it because it was a similar. Matter of fact, give Romans, was that 2 and 14?
14. Exodus chapter 29, verse 7. It says, "Then shalt thou take the anointing oil and pour it upon his head and anoint him."
Right, and anoint him. Why? Because that was the anointing. That's why when you said the anointing prayer, which was in Numbers, in Numbers the 6th chapter, you would pour oil and ask the Most High to bless you. No, we don't have to get there yet. I mean, I could put it in post production probably. Go ahead, brother.
It says, anointing themselves with oils, addressing each other with the appellation of brother and sister. Sagan says in mentioning in the 14th chapter of his first book, the festival of Zakihut. I can't say that.
That's all right.
All right, it starts with an X. Zakilhuitl.
It's a correct word.
Yeah, it's a correct word. That the Mexicans ate on one of their feasts unleavened bread.
That's right.
Exodus 12 and 8.
Exodus 12 and 8. So this is basically more proof of that. Matter of fact, read that real quick, brother, in Romans.
Romans chapter 2, verse 14. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves.
Right, because they didn't have the actual law here when they came over here. So it was a law unto themselves. Why? Because it was already in their spirit to do it. So they were called what? The Gentiles. Why? Because they were Israelites. See, when Paul was speaking to the Gentiles, when Yahushua told him to go to the Gentiles, he already knew who he was going to. They was going to Israelites that was in a Gentile state of mind. It wasn't a thing of, or they got a question, okay, they're going to go in the midst of these people, and they're, all right, well, there goes Greeks over there, the real Greeks, and there goes this nation over there. Who should I go to? I don't know. They already knew who to go to.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 8. Verse 8.
I'm sorry, because these people already was keeping the customs and laws that was in the Bible. Go ahead.
Right, Exodus 12 and 8. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it.
Right, that's how you're supposed to eat the Passover, not with feasting and jumping around and rapping, like Nate and his boys be doing, with women with backless dresses, yeah, like it's a fashion show, When they sang back then, they were singing songs of joy, because there was certain, the Lord had delivered them for certain situations. Right. But that's another lesson. But let's get one more, brother.
A curious parallel of the Jewish and Indian moral laws may be found in that chapter of the third book of Garcia's Origin of the Indians, which he has entitled Como los Indios Guardaron,
which is they kept.
Los Preceptos del Decálogo.
Right. Which means how they kept the precepts of the Decalogue, which is the 10 Commandments.
Right, because the word deca means 10. Yep. For you people don't know that. All right. How the Indians obeyed the 10 Commandments.
That's it.
Los Luna Nuevo Mexico.
Right. And there's a actual stone in Los Lunas, New Mexico, not Mexico, it's New Mexico, where they have the actual 10 Commandments written in the Lashwan Kodash carved out on a stone, which they put there, the Israelites, the so-called Indians that were there. Go ahead.
The words of Los Casas, La Cuela Tua Manifeston Te Facit. Your speech betrays you in reference to the Mexicans or some other tribe of Indians whom he took to be real Jews.
Right, let me see this. And the reason why he said that is that your speech betrays you. Why? Because that's the same thing that was said to Peter. When they came to him to ask him if he was with Yahweh Shai, he said no. He said, no, your speech betrays you. Basically, what did they mean? That the things that he was saying proves that he was down with Yahweh Shai.